Alright, hello guys. Today we're going to be talking about a really quick snowstorm that's going to hit the New England areas, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Connecticut, also upstate New York, Vermont, Maine. We're all talking about snow in those areas. Before I get started with the video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather related content, and also like the video if you do like the video. So we're going to be looking at our Futurecast model here, the HRDPS, and this one does a really good job with the rain snow line. This is why this is my favorite Futurecast radar here to use. So we're looking at right now, we're seeing some snow in the Ohio and Pennsylvania areas, kind of further south than everybody thought. For those areas, not going to be looking at too much accumulation, maybe 1 or 2 inches in some of those areas. There's not as much precipitation yet, as it's going to get enhancement from the ocean once it gets over there. So that's why we'll be talking about more snow for the Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine areas. As we move on, we're going to move on about 4 hours. So this is kind of getting towards the afternoon here, more towards the evening. Maybe 4 p.m. here, and we're seeing that heavier snow move into the more north central Pennsylvania areas, also upstate New York, starting to get some a little bit further north than New York City, maybe like 2 or 3 hours north of New York City. And we're going to also be talking about some Massachusetts snow starting to mix in at that point. Now, by time we're in the late evening here, we're going to be talking about the heaviest of the snow being in upstate New York in those areas that I was talking about, and also southern Vermont and southern New Hampshire getting in on some of that, and the western portions of Massachusetts at this point. Then we start to see this thing dip down as the night proceeds and the low pressure system get closer to the ocean, and we're going to start to see that enhancement and a lot more snow starting to show up here. This is about 2 a.m. on Tuesday, so tonight 2 a.m. We're looking at southern New Hampshire and northern portions of Massachusetts, especially the mountainous regions in southern Vermont there as well. Getting that heaviest snow, still upstate New York though, getting some of that, and then Maine starting to get the snow. And here by about 5 a.m. we're talking about the heaviest of the snow being in southern Vermont and New Hampshire. Again, Maine starting to get that, and it's starting to lighten up there in upstate New York by this point. And then very heavy snow starting to show up in Massachusetts and New Hampshire by time that low pressure system is right below you. And this is going to be about, I think this will be about 7 a.m. So very early morning tomorrow. You could be looking at some very heavy snow just north of wherever the mix line is. Now the thing is, a lot of models want Massachusetts to get a lot less snow and it be pushed into New Hampshire and Vermont, including the RGEM model. And Maine obviously still getting the snow in upstate, but they don't want Massachusetts to get quite as much. Now I think that at least the mountainous regions of or the higher elevation areas of Massachusetts will be getting snow here. So I don't think I'm too worried about that. The low pressure system moves offshore, and now we're talking about mostly Maine getting affected. Still snow showers. Also, another thing I wanted to mention, there will be lake effect bands hitting after this storm. So if you live right in the lake effect areas and you get lake effect bands and you end up getting 5-7 inches of snow from those, don't think that it's from this storm and that my forecast busted. We're going to be getting some lake effect snow bands that aren't included in my snowfall forecast after the fact, and that's not taken into consideration. So if you do end up getting those, don't think that my forecast busted again. This is by about 11 a.m. tomorrow, so we're going to see Massachusetts starting to dry up by this point. Maybe some snow showers showing back up in the later, afternoon hours. So this is more like, I don't know, about 2 p.m. maybe. So by the afternoon, mostly Maine getting that snow, and then that moves kind of offshore. I mean, we could be looking at some snow showers still lingering in Maine, and again, those lake effect bands kind of moving on shore. But yeah, by Wednesday, early Wednesday morning, we'll be seeing this thing basically out of here. So looking at our snowfall totals, you'll notice that heaviest snow like to stay right around the Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire border. And then move into Maine. It's a little less heavy as we go into those areas. I think southern New Hampshire has the best chance to approach 6 inches here. We're going to be looking at anywhere from, I guess, Albany and all the way through southern Vermont, New Hampshire, northern Massachusetts, and Maine getting in those chances of 3 to 6 inches, and then everywhere else in those white regions is going to be looking at anywhere from a dusting to 3 inches of snow. But really, those blue areas are where we're going to be seeing our heaviest accumulations, I believe, where we'll be seeing 3 to 6 inches. Obviously, some areas won't hit 3 in those areas, but it should be pretty widespread, the 3 inches plus in there. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick update. I'll see you guys later.